Alright guys, TouchGrub here back again today. Hope you're all enjoying the start of your weekend. Today I wanted to talk about some new glitches. They're not necessarily new, right? These glitches have probably been around quite a while in the game, but really they've just come to light on Twitter. I'm sure some professional players and amateur players have been abusing them for a while, but I wanted to bring them to light just in the hope that they get fixed and just to bring some more community attention to the issues that we are seeing with the game just 1 week out from the start of the Pro League, because of course Minnesota, the first weekend, the 3-day event where every team is going to be present, begins on January the 24th. That is less than a week from now, so very exciting stuff, to be honest. Obviously I'm looking forward to it, given we've had many months off of not really too much happening, but yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Before we get into it, wanted to say thank you to the sponsor of today's video, that being Draftbuff. They've been sponsoring a video every single Saturday for the month of January. Just wanted to say, if you guys weren't aware of the system for fantasy esports, they're one of the leaders in the field right now, because of course you've got fantasy and other sports that are very, very popular. You get in terms of a league with your friends or some people you want to compete against. You then have a draft between all the players in the league, picking who you think is going to be the best throughout the season, and then depending on how well they do with certain metrics each weekend, you get points for those individuals, and that builds up to your team performance. I am running something of this in my own Discord, but I advertised it on this channel a few days ago now, and pretty much all the places are probably full in that by the time this video comes out, because you can't do it with so many people. But if you would like to have people to go up against, feel free to follow the link in the description box to sign up for Draftbuff, which would be greatly appreciated. But also Draftbuff have a Discord which guys can go and join and find other people to play against in your league, to make it more entertaining to watch the scene, because of course the scene could be pretty entertaining this season. Hopefully it will be. There's questions how enjoyable Modern Warfare is to watch, and you know, if it's not that enjoyable, to add something onto it in terms of fantasy and trying to, you know, compete and do well in that sense always makes for a better time, in my opinion. But yeah, thanks to Draftbuff once again. Their system is fantastic. Feel free to find all the relevant links in the description box below. So yeah, let's hop right into it. Like, if you guys enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. And just to mention this really quick, because yesterday we talked about these the merchandise that has been released, and one thing I didn't really talk about is the price that can add up very quickly when you look at, you know, exporting, I guess, to the UK. Because we talked about how the jerseys, which a lot of you guys were pointing out almost look like t-shirts, and I myself was quite confused at why they look like t-shirts when they're jerseys, but they're $75 if you want to order them in the States. If you want to order them in the UK, not only are you paying duty and fees on top of that, but then you're paying like $25 in shipping. Just to get a jersey, which doesn't even really look like a jersey, who knows if it even feels like a jersey, $123 to get that over to the UK, and that's if you're a London Royal Ravens fan, right? You want to buy that stuff? Unlucky, you're paying like £100 to get a jersey delivered to the UK that doesn't even really look like a jersey. If you're the UK team, honestly, it's pretty outrageous. Thanks to Jamoid and Ryan for pointing this out on Twitter, because it's something I didn't really go into yesterday. Paddy P is not so happy though. This will serve as a nice introduction to what I wanted to talk about in the video. Squad spawning, Superman Dead Silence, 12 Hertz and 5v5. What a recipe, as he says, for the upcoming season. And just to, you know, add on to that, I guess, there's plenty of things to discuss today, which are issues with the game in the current state. And this is what TJ said. I'm not exactly sure when this tweet went out, but Body put it up on Reddit, and you can see 480 upvotes if that, you know, fully fits on your screen. Clearly, this is a big issue within the community right now. And let's go on to some stuff which has happened. So this came out on Reddit a couple of days ago. I'll play the video on screen fully for you guys in a second. But effectively, we've heard about this slide cancel. If you're an SMG player, it can be a very beneficial thing to fly around, double tap the slide button and then jump, and it will cancel your sprint out on your slide. That's been a very common glitch which has been abused, I guess, over the last couple of weeks. I can't make this autoplay, so I'll just click it again one more time before I play it on screen. This individual on Reddit has discovered that you can effectively cancel your sprint using, and well, with any gun, but the assault rifle is most pertinent with it, is most useful with, especially to compete against the players with the SMGs that are often slide cancelling. So I'll play this on the big screen just because you maybe can't fully see it. Effectively, if you double tap triangle or to change your weapon, whatever that button could be, whether you use a paddle for it or whatever, if you have a scuff controller or one of the alternatives, Battle Beaver of course has been widely supported by the pros as of late. But as you can see here, the difference between 300 odd milliseconds to get out of double sprint to firing compared to apparently if you double tap triangle, as long as you do it quickly, you can get out really quickly and fire your gun almost immediately. So that's, I guess, an exploit. It doesn't seem like this is something that's intentional, but at the same time, you look back to Black Ops 3, and the G slide was not intentional. That was removed from the game. But, for example, in Black Ops 3, you could, as they call it, Y slide Y, so triangle, slide, and then triangle, and that let you cancel the sprint out animation, so, or the slide out animation. So after you slid, you could just get right up into your running if you did that little button combo, compared to if you just slid normally. And that caused a big difference, and that was effectively the meta movement. That maybe, I don't know if that was intentional necessarily, it's kind of a similar thing to this, but that was allowed in the game because it took some degree of skill, and you also had to sacrifice something by, you know, attempting the movement and maybe putting your gun away at bad times. So that's definitely something to consider. Who knows whether this should actually be removed, but we have a lot more worse things than this to discuss in this video. So here we go. This came out from Scumpstream a couple of days ago. Temp has perfected the cha-cha slide. I'll play this video on full screen because it's pretty outrageous what Temp does to Scump right here.
Pillars again, pillars again, pillars again, pillars again.
Hookah, one bullet, one hookah, Trey.
Oh, lay down.
I got him on time.
It's from Barber somewhere, yeah.
On the heady, Trey. One's in hill.
Yeah,
I don't know where the guy is in hill. I think he's back right
From
now.
Barber.
So he does this little like jump hop kind of thing as he gets down onto the floor, and I found a video on YouTube which talked about how to do this. Apparently this guy's known about it from the start of the game. All you have to do is get to the point of a map, and there's a couple of clips that I saw in that video which are pretty outrageous. I'll leave that link down below as well. Effectively, if you are you jump off something, you don't actually have to jump, you can just fall off, but as long as you take a little bit of damage from falling off, you know, whatever you're falling off, and then you just spam the X button, when you hit the ground you do this crazy bunny hop, as long as you take a little bit of damage. And you can see in this clip the Temp takes a little bit of damage in the kill cam here, and well, okay, honestly, just ignore it, you've already seen the video. But anyway, he takes a little bit of damage and he manages to absolutely fly across your screen, and apparently it's kind of a common thing, and there's certain spots on the map the pros are being able to use this and abuse it, I guess. Clearly not an intentional thing, I imagine. It just makes it almost impossible to kill the guy, but at the same time, maybe that's a skill gap, right? If you can use that, yes, you are taking damage from falling already, and you know, you're making yourself exposed by falling through the air. So potentially that is just rewards if you decide to commit to it. But we're going to get into some even worse stuff in just a minute here. So here we go. Alec Arcetes, of course, this is the main thing in the title of the video. That is wall hacks in the game. I'll play this video on full screen. There are certain spots, and BZ followed up to this on Reddit and said that there are a lot of spots on many more maps than just this spot on St. Petrograd. You guys may know that the red names coming up above people's heads is a pretty damn common thing in the game. There are certain spots on the map you can lay down behind walls. They're clearly not coded correctly in the game so that you can see through the walls with, you know, just aiming down sights. You can see the red names, and you can also apparently see them on the minimap, as you can see here when I play this on full screen. So, you know, here we go. So this is only one of apparently many examples on maps where you can just straight see through the wall, lay down behind it, pre-aim, see who's coming through which cuts. Like, as you can see, as Arcetes is moving around left and right, you want to hold the left side, you want to hold the right side, just aim down sights, flick back and forth. You can see all of the names if you want to hold down. As soon as you see some red dots, or at least the red name, hop up, take him out, no problems at all. And if this is happening on a lot of maps, and I'm sure maybe Alex is, or Alec at least is mentioning this, BZ says these exist elsewhere. I'm sure a lot of pros know about stuff like this, and they're keeping them under wraps so that when it goes to LAN, they can abuse stuff like this in a LAN environment. And there may even be more examples than this that are more useful in a game, right? And have, you know, because this is a situation which may be useful in certain circumstances, and honestly could be pretty damn useful, but there may be some on other maps which are even better in terms of being able to get information which you really shouldn't be getting. This is something that should not be happening. He can just straight see through a wall to turn out where people are, and this is a feature which is coded into the game. Honestly, magnificent. The league is less than a week away, let's not forget. This is another clip as well I wanted to mention. This is from Formal Stream. This is from Celium doing some outrageous movement. And let's not forget, in this clip that I'm about to show you guys, Celium is using an assault rifle. The movement that he does here, people have been calling it a moonwalk. The way he gets back around that corner is insane. I'll play the video on full screen for you.
Or simp.
Simp.
Simp the pimp?
Guys consuming more caffeine than...
Dude, that kid just got away. What the fuck? Wait, that was disgusting. What the fuck?
So just to roll through a couple more things then before we finish the video, getting back to spawns as Aches talked about at the start, rated here, this might be the worst spawn yet, actually never seen someone spawn there. I'll play this on full screen, but just to be careful, of course the rotation's coming in here on some Petrograds, Rated's holding down the last hill, his teammates are quite comfortably behind him. The spawn that he gets here, the enemy spawn is pretty ridiculous. I'm not going to say it's absolutely mental, but it does seem very strange for this enemy to spawn in this position, given that you would expect that they would spawn on the other end of the map given the rotation position. I can understand to a degree why Infinity Ward or at least why Modern Warfare decided to spawn this individual here, but it still is quite strange. You wouldn't really expect it. It might be an outlier. It's not exactly the worst I've seen, but you know, it's still not great.
10 seconds, get ready to move.
And another clip then, just to might as well, because of course we talked about that Lake Street, talked about spawns, squad spawns, 12 hurts as well was a big one. And this clip here from Don that I found on Twitter is pretty outrageous. The way he gets killed here just boggles the mind. And well, I wasn't going to play the video on full screen, but given Twitter video player is acting up once again, maybe I will just for conclusion's sake. So if a lot of those clips made you feel quite frustrated with the state of the game, not to worry, because the Call of Duty League, just the final thing I wanted to mention, has collaborated with Kickstradamus or whatever, and they're creating custom Call of Duty League sneakers, baby, or trainers as we would describe them in the UK. So yeah, cop them right now, hashtag CDL 2020. Of course, no need to really advertise the league or anything from the CDL perspective. Yes, they have this, you know, campaign with the Huntsman going on, not really seeing too much advertising on Twitch or even in the game itself, but you know, who cares, right? We've got the Call of Duty League sneakers now. You know, they could be worth a lot of money if the league absolutely kicks off over the next few years somehow. Well, you know, we'll have to see. But yeah, thanks for watching as always. Like if you guys enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.